Alright, so it's been a little while since I made a video. I'll give a little update on that. Today's January 21st. It's about 12:15 in the afternoon. And I'll just start off where I left. I'll just start off on my cooked food experiment, which was January 8th. January 8th, I had my cooked food experiment, and that was very eye-opening as to the effects of cooked food versus being on juice. You know, leading up to my cooked food experiment, I was 35 days into my juice cleanse, and an experience like no other, and a state of being like no other. And then experimenting with that cooked food and seeing how deadening to the body it was, how poisonous. And I dealt with that. I dealt with that, the consequences, the effects of that cooked food for another 5 days after. Yeah, for another 5 days after eating that. You know, I felt just low in my energy. It almost felt, with the cravings, it almost felt like when I first started juicing. It felt like the beginning of a juice cleanse again, like I completely restarted, and just by having that one meal. And so that lasted for 5 days, and the effects of that lasted for 5 days of shitting, of feeling heavy, of just affecting my whole state of being and my decision making as to getting out and doing movement, things like that. And then, so 5 days though after January 8th, January 13th, I got poison ivy. And I got poison ivy all in the back of my legs, you know, and it wasn't like, it didn't cover my entire legs. It was just the back of my legs, from my kneecap below and my kneecap up, on my thighs and on my calves. And usually when I get poison ivy, my entire body gets covered. I'll have dots all the way up in my hair and on my face, all the way down to into my crotch, into my butt crack. I mean, it's crazy. When I get poison ivy, it's horrible for me. It just spreads like wildfire. And sometimes I'll get big old blisters, like just globs of the poison ivy specks. They'll all come together and just form a big glob. And yeah, and I'll deal with it for at least 2 weeks. Won't go away until about 3 weeks. And yeah, like the first week it just keeps getting worse because it just continues spreading out, and so I'll be really inflamed and such. And when I get poison ivy, I don't want to do anything. I just do what I got to do. If that's work, I go to work. I'll just do exactly what I got to do, and I'm just being lazy the rest of the time because it's just so torturous dealing with poison ivy. And so that being said, I noticed because I want comfort when I'm feeling like that. I just want to relax, but I also want a comforting feeling. So I ended up eating raw. I only ate raw from January 14th to January 19th. And I ate raw this whole time. And it was very mind-blowing because I guess from cleaning up my palate and cleaning up my system for 35 days, what I ate when I ate raw was just whole avocados and mushrooms by themselves, and in their raw state. So in their natural state, uncooked, unpasteurized, all that, you know, just completely raw, just the way it is. And the flavors were I was like, wow. And because when I do eat solid, even like that cooked food experiment, I take a bite and I chew it, and I sit with it and I chew it till it's as liquefied as I can get it. And so when I was eating the mushrooms, I mean, I was eating that like a snack, you know, just so many flavors that I could never taste before. Before I could eat one raw mushroom and be like, oh, this is good, but immediately I'd want to cook it with something. I want to mix it up. I'd want to season it. I'd want to combine things, and like the flavor was nothing compared to that flavor. But now having cleaned up my palate, and like things like celery, like there's so many things, even with fruit before, when I ate cooked food every fucking day, it was like, yeah, fruit's good, but you know, it's not pleasurable. It's not really that nice hit that I want. But now when I eat it, it's got so much flavor I've never even tasted before. It was like I was blind. I was numb. I was blind to those flavors, because you could say my palate was just so jacked up from eating unnatural things, and so my palate was accustomed to those flavors, and like it couldn't pick up on those subtle flavors of other things. And so eating the raw mushrooms, eating the avocados, I mean, I was eating and I was getting big avocados. You know, they have the small ones at the stores, but then there's that one section where they'll have like these colossal fucking avocados that, you know, you can hold like this, like a mini ball almost. And I was eating like 4 of those, a bunch of mushrooms. And so I was eating that for the first 3 days when I started eating raw on January 14th. I was eating that for the first 3 days, and then I started eating cashews and pecans. And I would eat, it was like 10-ounce bag of raw cashews, you know, unsalted, not roasted. So it was completely raw. And because eating the raw, I felt great. I mean, I felt heavier, but I'd get filled up pretty quick. I mean, it was pretty wild how quick I could get filled up off of just a few avocados. And I was still drinking my juice, but during this time I wasn't drinking any more than a gallon of juice. And so, but once I started eating the nuts, that's when I started feeling dryness in my mouth. It felt like the nuts were robbing my body from its water. I would say because nuts don't seem to have much water content to it. You know, it doesn't have the hydration component into it. I would more say, based off what I've seen, hearing from others and such, is that it's more for like nutrients, right? You get your nutrients. People eat nuts for fats, for protein, all that. And so I guess, yeah, it was, so the nuts were robbing me of my water. It was making me my mouth feel dry in the morning. And when I was eating the nuts, it was almost like nuts. And the reason why I was eating nuts, you know, they're raw, they're natural, but again, I've heard of them being like a dry fruit. You could think of it as a dry fruit, and instead of, you know, drying an actual fruit, you just look at a nut, because a nut's like dry and solid. I've heard of vegans and fruitarians, they talk about nuts being like a dry fruit. Anyways, so when I was eating that, yeah, feeling really dry, and it felt like a cheat to eating raw. You know, it was like a snack. Those nuts were a snack. And look, I stayed away from pistachios because I know how fucking tasty and good pistachios are, and they're just never ending. Like, you can just go through bags and bags of pistachios and want more. And so I knew that I was like, I'm not even gonna fuck with pistachios. I'm not gonna go down that road. So I just had cashews and pecans, but cashews are still so fucking good. And so I was eating those like crazy. And so it wasn't like, eating raw at first wasn't bad, but then once I added the nuts in, it was like, oh my gosh, it was like a cheat to eating raw, is what it felt like to me. And so, but what I saw when I was eating, because even though I was eating good stuff, I could still feel my system getting backed up. I could feel weight. I felt heavier, in my weight. I could see I was having a small belly, a small bloat. I wasn't eating till I was bloated or like hurting or anything while I was eating raw. I was just consuming little more than I should have, but still nothing like I used to before. And I wasn't eating, because when I first was eating raw, before I ever started juicing, I would just eat until I couldn't eat anymore when I was eating raw. This time when I ate, I could just eat some avocados, eat a few mushrooms, and just drink my juice and be fine, and I wouldn't crave anything. I saw once I started eating the avocados and when I started eating raw, because I had my cooked food experiment. I went 5 or 6 days on just juice to clean out that cooked food I ate. And then I started eating raw after 5-6 days of my cooked food experiment, and started eating raw. And when I was eating raw, I could tell, it just showed me that where I'm at on my path, I need to do a cleanse. I need to stick to juices until I clear out my entire system of the mucoid plaque, the toxins, the chemicals, and before I eat raw ever again. Because I shouldn't be able to overeat like I did with raw, and it should be able to run right through me. It shouldn't be getting backed up. And I shouldn't be gaining weight that easily, I should be able to burn through. I should be able to burn through that pretty quick. And but yeah, so that's what I noticed, just with where I'm at. In order to level up from here, I have to do the cleanse. I have so much of the knowledge. I know what I need to do. I understand so much of what's going on in our reality and my own personal reality. I feel like to get to that next level, I have to clean out. It's a necessity for me to level up from here, because I have the knowledge. I understand what I need to do, or where I need to place my focus on, and where I need to work myself towards. But the only way I'm going to level up from there is first cleansing, because I need a clearer mind getting further down that path. I need to be more in tune with myself going down that path. And I can't be in tune with myself or have a clear state of a clear mind if my system's backed up and still dealing with a lot of toxins and chemicals. And so that just needs to, that's what I need to focus on, is cleaning out my system. That's what eating raw really showed me. Because even though it was hydrating, it was nice, I just, like I said, I felt heavy still. And yeah, so January 19th is when my poison ivy was gone. So like I said, because I have a cleaner fluid running through my body, that poison ivy didn't spread. I mean, I had a few dots up in my beard and like in my hairline, but I mean, it wasn't like patches. It wasn't down my fucking neck and down my arm and all the crevices, and it literally just stayed on the back of my thighs and on the back of my calves. I had tiny dots in random spots, but nothing like I always have gotten it my entire life. And so I had poison ivy from January 13th to January 19th, which that is, wow, that's only 6 fucking days. So 6 days of poison ivy. I mean, I don't remember ever only getting poison ivy for 6 days from start to finish, so that just shows like my defense mechanism, my autoimmune cells have just been developing. It's like it's strengthened. My defense mechanism has strengthened. My immune system has strengthened, and rather because my blood used to be so toxic and so acidic, and as soon as I'd come in contact with a chemical like that, like poison ivy, it would just, there was nothing to fight it. I had so much junk in the way, keeping that defense mechanism diminished, and at a lack of strength and power, that it couldn't fight off the intruders, that aren't supposed to be in my body. So I'd get that poison ivy, and it'd spread all over, and I'd have it for, like I said, at least 2 to 3 weeks. And so yeah, only 6 days. January 19th, it was gone. But I noticed when I was eating raw, it would keep, when I started eating the nuts, that's when it was. When I started eating the nuts, like the last 3 days of eating raw, it would kick on. It would hint at me. It's like, dude, let's eat some cooked food. So I saw the nuts were like that cheat. It was like that cheat you use. You could say, let's use juicing for example. Oh, okay, you're juicing, and you're like, oh, well, a soda is a liquid, so it's not like I'm eating solid, so I'm gonna drink this soda, and it's not gonna make me have to end my streak on juicing. And it's like, no, that doesn't work. Soda is not a part of juicing. And so that's how I saw the nuts, and the nuts were making me want to eat cooked food. But the whole time I was like, no, fuck that. Like I've seen, I saw when I started eating the raw food, because of that poison ivy, all I wanted was comfort. So like just chewing, I saw as soon as I started chewing, like I never dealt with cravings when I was eating the raw food, and it was just the act of chewing, which is very strange. But yeah, as soon as I started eating those nuts, then the cravings for cooked food ramped up. And then so yesterday, actually, I ended up eating cooked food, and I was eating bean burritos, even ate 1 egg sandwich, which it's not vegan, so you can see right there, I fell for an egg sandwich, and I went to a place that does sandwiches, and got a 2 fried eggs on a biscuit sandwich. Didn't do cheese or anything like that, and just ate it with avocado and hummus. I was eating hummus, bean burrito, ate an egg sandwich. So I ate things like that, and I just couldn't eat it the rest of the day. I came home and took a nap and woke up and didn't want any. Didn't even want to go out. I felt the fullness, I felt the toxicity, and I was just like, man, fuck this. Now I need to get right back on juices. And it was more to be like, it was more like, man, you already been eating, fuck it, just go ahead, have a cooked meal, and then start juicing again. So that's where I was coming at it with. But yeah, like after work, I went, got the egg sandwich, went, ate a few bean burritos and hummus, and it was only like 3 hours, 4 hours of that, and I just came home, took a nap, and didn't even want it when I woke up last night. And so yeah, so after all that, this morning I woke up at 6:30, 6 o'clock, weighed myself, was weighing 155, went for a 3-hour walk in the woods, in the snow. Took a real nice walk. I love getting out in the winter. The air is just so crisp and feels so good, and just walking, the snow just is so calming. It just brings a sense of ease and peace. So walking in the woods with no noises of the city, of the town, and no cars, no nothing like that. Just felt good being outside. Just sat out and was just contemplating on thought, and just getting deep with myself, talking and such. So I spent 3 hours doing that. Then I went to walked to the gym, went in the sauna, did back to back in the sauna. And so after doing all that, after 3 hours walking back to back on sauna, and took a shower, weighed myself, and I was 145. So this morning I just lost 10 pounds. I mean, it's just shit, that is. So all that worked itself out. And I took 3 shits this morning, starting from my walk to being in the sauna. And so yeah, I ended up going from 155 first thing this morning to 145 after getting back home from the gym. And yeah, so it's just wild, all this experience. Just all this experience is just making, I just see I'm getting further along in my journey. I'm solidifying what I know. I'm solidifying the direction I need to take, and seeing what's necessary, what I need to prioritize in order to start leveling up, get out of this plateau I'm in and start leveling up, which I feel like I've been incrementally moving up, you could say, heading more solidified on the path that I'm trying to take, more in alignment with my goals and such. And so yeah, it's pretty amazing. Just the whole poison ivy thing was great to witness and see how having that cleaner blood running through me, just able to clean my system up just like that. And so it just has me excited for what I'm working towards. I'm back on juice today. I want nothing to do with solids. I gotta get serious on getting my system cleaned out, because today would be, from the first day I started juicing, today would be my 48th day juicing, which is nearing that time, which is 48, 50. So it's about that halfway mark of getting closer to getting rid of that mucoid plaque and stuff. So, it could be my 48th day today, but rather it's my first day again. And this time going in, I want to be more aware. I don't want to let me not succumbing to my habits and my addictions to bring my state of being down. It was kind of, because before I was still kind of teetering on that line, like, oh, should I eat cooked food? Should I eat it one last time? And battling with that for like a couple weeks before I actually did. And so now that I got all that out of my way, I got some experiment with just eating raw food, and it's got me, I feel like I'm just going to be so much more stronger when those cravings come, when I'm just going to be so much more aware. Like I'm just more interested in seeing how my body's really reacting when I'm not giving it what it's used to getting. And because now I know, there's no teetering that line. I'm fully on the juice. I'm fully for my healing. I'm fully for my recovery. I'm fully for my goals. And so when these cravings come, when when I start noticing my drive going down or anything like that, like I'm really trying to dig into what's going on and target it from the root of the issue. And because I'm just trying to recover. I'm trying to be at my best, my optimal state. And yeah, so going into this juicing this time, I just want to be much more aware and stronger in my will. And just being more real with myself, being more honest with myself, giving myself some more time outside. I want to spend more time going on walks, going for longer walks, and because I was using all my working out before as justification to just relax afterwards. Even if I work out, going back into this juicing, and I start working out again, I want to go for walks after I work out, or go for walks at night, something like that, instead of just coming home. Even taking a nap is fine, because, while I'm sleeping, I'm healing too. But not coming home and being on YouTube, watching videos, things like that. Like, I want to spend more time walking, want to spend more time in silence with myself. If I'm not doing that, then talking with people, interacting with people, and just being more creative with myself, because I know I've had plans of making other types of videos and doing experiments and such, and tapping into my own potential and such. So, spending more time in doing that. I'm not gonna be forcing myself. I'm gonna discern where I'm being lazy or where I'm needing rest. So where I'm choosing comfort, I gotta be able to discern if I'm just seeking comfort or if I really do need some rest. And so yeah, that's where I'm at. So yeah, I cooked food yesterday. I ate some cooked food. As soon as I stopped eating, I was done. I was like, fuck this. It's crazy. My body's just completely rejecting that stuff. And it was fine with the raw. It was like, okay, I can do this. Then the nuts started coming. It was like, that's a little heavy, man. And then boom, that cooked food was like, come on, really? Come on, get your ass back on juicing. So yeah, I just see I have to clean my system out in order for me to reach that higher state of being, that higher state of consciousness, that higher intelligence. Like, I'm right there in my mental, I'm right there with my mentality, but I can't break through the ice because I got toxins and chemicals still weighing me down. So as soon as I can clear all this up in here, and this stuff is, my organs, my insides are running a lot smoother, a lot cleaner, or at a lot more ease, then this communication right here will be a lot more solid and free flowing, and therefore I think that's really going to help me break this plateau I'm in, and really bring me, it's like I'll be preparing myself for new opportunities. So that is where I'm at. Like I said, today's January 21st. I was weighing 155 this morning, 145 after the gym. Didn't work out at the gym, just hit the sauna a few times. And yeah, so I've been riding a lot, riding each day really, and riding real good stuff. Just getting real deep and honest with myself, and yeah, I'm just hungry for freedom, hungry for liberty, hungry for a new way of living. Like me and my dad were talking about, I don't see myself being in the USA. I don't see myself being able to stay here for another 3 years, 5 years. At first I was like, 10 years from now I definitely couldn't see myself here, but now really thinking about it, it's like, man, not even 3 years. I can't even see myself here for 3 more years. So in order for things to change, I need to change. I need to get myself right and prepare myself for any big opportunities that make their way towards me, and or that I create for myself. So yeah, I've been putting some more thought as in to, I've just been playing with my imagination and just thinking in a bigger picture, you know, getting myself out of this limiting box of imagination, and, you know, really just getting creative with it and thinking, just really thinking outside the box, and what life could really be like if our community was more in alignment with truth, fact, and reality, you know, with honesty, with authenticity, with our biological functioning. What would life be like if we were in alignment with that? You know, if our entire community was in alignment with that, you know, we weren't surrounded by lies, bred in circuses, we weren't ran by abusive authorities, and living in abusive systems and living in inhumane systems, and constantly just living in a demoralized system, you know, constantly doing things that are immoral and unethical and just inhumane. And, you know, if we were just in tune with nature, if we were connected, what would life be like? Yeah, if we didn't have I mean, it's so much that I've been thinking about, and it's like, man, only way to find out is to get there with myself, you know. There's no way knowing on how to be free if I'm constantly doing the things that enslave me. So I can just imagine. That's it. But even then, my imagination is boxed in from the conditioned beliefs and programming. And so, yeah, that's everything I'm breaking myself out of. And that was one thing I was writing the other day. Was like, holy fuck, man, I'm so proud of myself for where I'm at. Because this is, I mean, I started seeing, man, this is really the hardest fucking thing we can be doing, is no longer being the old man we used to be before. The old person we used to be before, you know, no longer doing what's normal to us, no longer doing what's familiar to us, you know, and what's normal and what's familiar to us isn't natural, isn't necessary, isn't in alignment with, it's not in alignment with our true nature and what we're really supposed to be doing. So yeah, that's just a lot of deep thought, getting real with myself, and kicking my ass in the direction where I need to go. Yep, I'll end it there and try to document some more.